So I could tell you that this shot, and even this extremely low light, almost pitch black shot was taken on a DSLR camera. But I'd be lying. I took all of these shots with this guy, the Huawei P60 Pro. This is one incredible camera, but can I recommend the phone as a whole? £150 off this phone using the link below, by the way. No pressure, but if you like what you see, you know what to do. So Huawei recently organised a trip for me to go down to Port Lim Safari Park for a truly unforgettable experience, especially for an animal lover like me. Hello, Bonnie. You all right? But it wasn't all play. There was work involved. I promise you, it was to test out this little camera rig. And a couple of things I'll touch on aside. What this was able to capture was nothing short of unfathomable. Don't you agree? Yeah, that's what I thought. The P60 Pro has a fully upgraded camera system and is the first in the industry to have an ultra lighting telephoto camera, whereby it can increase the lens light intake to a point where it can basically see in the dark. Right, off you get, because you're just showing your bum to the... This shot was taken about 25 minutes from complete nightfall, and at 10x zoom, which is mental. The main 48 megapixel RYYB super sensing sensor is the largest one in the middle, sandwiched between a 13 megapixel ultra wide and another 48 megapixel telephoto with 3.5 times optical zoom. And interestingly, the main lens has an automatic scene-based switching variable aperture from f4.0 to f1.4, which means under the right low light conditions, the phone can let in more light than last year's f1.8. So there's less processing needed because there's less grain, which means you have a better all-round image. And the one thing that really impressed me was the absence, or at least heavy reduction, of any motion blur. You do still have the countdown timer in night shots where it encourages you to remain still while the slower shutter speed is helping to compose the image, but even if you do shake slightly or the subject in your shot moves, the phone still seems to produce photos that aren't blur ruined like pretty much any smartphone out there. And this is evident in many of the shots I took of the animals because, let's be honest, you know what they say, don't work with children and animals. We know as models they don't tend to play ball and stay still. And in good lighting, the same applies. There's images here of Bonnie, and you can capture some incredible shots. The detail and sharpness and very little motion blur, if any, is just incredible, to the point where you can get details of her tongue when she's cleaning herself, and it's just so unbelievably sharp. And again, the majority of these were taken at 3.5 times zoom, which makes it all the more impressive. I've never seen the consistency of sharpness from zoom shots from moving subjects this clear before. One amazing thing we did at the safari park is we went out at dusk, just before sunset, to see some of the animals roaming free away from the crowds. And twofold, not only was this a joy to see these animals almost living in the wild, but kind of getting ready to possibly be rehoused in the wild, some of them, but also from a selfish point of view, it gave me the chance to really put this camera to test. And in the dusk lighting, thanks to the new XT Fusion Pro texture engine, the HDR is incredible, to the point where you can even see the shine off glass or the glint in an animal's eye. We will skip over the fact that one of the gorillas did a poo in front of us and then continue to pick it up and eat it. Again, a lot of these are taken at 10x zoom, and you're getting the sharpness and detail that I'm used to seeing from a 1x photo. But because we're zoomed in, I find the composition of the shot even that more aesthetically pleasing, that little bit more cinematic. And Huawei also give you a super macro mode, which means you can enjoy macro photography, but you don't have to stand right up close about 1 centimeter away to try and snap the perfect shot. You can do it from a distance, and it just makes things so much easier. I must admit, I haven't noticed a massive difference between the standard zoom shots 3.5x and 10x compared to the super macro mode 3.5x, 10x, etc. The obvious things being a slight shift in vibrancy and a smoother, softer appearance to skin complexions from the standard shots, simply because the AI has been auto-organized. Either way, if you like macro shots, again, you can pretty much do them on both. The XOMark also agree with a lot of those sentiments, giving the Huawei P60 Pro a #1 camera ranking, although it kind of seems like they always do with new phones, and then as soon as another new phone comes out in a couple of weeks, it loses that crown. So I may be wrong on that, that's what it appears. But the advancements in supermoon mode certainly put the P60 Pro up there with the very best when it comes to astrophotography. Recently, there's been a slight backlash in the media about possible authenticity problems with a lot of moonshots from different brands, including Huawei even back I think, the P30 Pro. But if you have a moon mode on your phone, it tends to give you a shot of the moon just on itself, exposes it fine, but you can't then see anything else around the moon. You just have a moon, and every photo that anyone takes of it using those modes pretty much looks the same. Not with the P60 Pro though, because not only can you capture details of the moon's surface, not just a bright spot, but it also provides you with actual context to the moon. So you can have things in the foreground still slightly exposed, so you have more of a scene than just a shot of that sort of thing, if you see what I mean. And stripping everything away for it to be able to do that is pretty mind-blowing compared to the competition, if you think about it. Then you have portrait shots, which are also impressive, with a choice of 1, 2, and 3.5x, and some truly cinematic potential, and selfies with another 3 focal lengths that haven't necessarily blown me away compared to the competition due to the slight facial smoothing and sometimes not exactly perfect edge detection. But the video is also refreshingly hugely competitive with decent stabilization and 4K 60, not only on the rear, but also on the front, which outside of Apple and Samsung currently right now, that's almost unheard of. We also saw a super rare animal called what's known as a duck. But is an incredible camera enough? Because there are certainly elephants in the room at play, and that's not just a play on the fact that I went on a safari. There is no denying the Rococo pearl version with real pearl texture design and natural mineral pearl powder looks like an exceptional extension to an expensive set of jewellery, and watching movies or gaming on the new quad curve 120Hz LTPO OLED display with the world's first Tevrinan colour accuracy dual certification looks extremely stellar. But there are some considerations you will have to make. But firstly, if you are going to be gaming and want to improve your experience and protect your online identity, whether that be on the Huawei P60 Pro or a range of other tech devices, you can hide your known IP address within a gaming network and reduce your risk of a DDoS attack with today's video sponsor, PureVPN. PureVPN provides complete online anonymity by rerouting your internet traffic through a choice of over 6,500 servers, so your internet service provider can't see your browsing habits, and it also helps you unlock geolocked content on streaming sites such as Netflix, BBC iPlayer, and Amazon Prime Video, to name a few. And you can save money when making purchases online because often ticket prices, etc., will be cheaper in different regions. You can use up to 10 devices across all major platforms on just one account, and PureVPN have given me a special deal to share with you in the video description below via the link, which gives you the service for just $2 a month, which is 81% off, and a further 3 months completely free, and of course there's a 31-day money-back guarantee, so it's win-win. But back to the P60 Pro, and the elephants in the room aren't the fact the battery capacity is only 4,815 mAh, because what Huawei can do with optimization is nothing short of outer worldly, very similar to Apple in that sense, and it's still considerably larger than the P50 Pro from last year, and you can charge the phone to half full in just 10 minutes. The elephant in the room isn't the fact that it's rocking a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 chip, which was the back end of last year compared to the latest 8 Gen 2, because in all honesty, for phone functions, the 8 Plus Gen 1 is still a phenomenal chipset. But the fact Huawei aren't able to include 5G may be a problem for you. This is 4G only, as could the fact be they can't natively include Google services. Huawei's EMUI 13.1 is slick, there's no two ways about it. The stackable widgets is a great touch, and the Huawei App Gallery for all your apps has seen significant upgrades that make finding all the apps you require far less clunky than ever before. The petal search feature now seems to be included directly from within the App Gallery, so just one home for everything. And if you don't use Google Apps, you're laughing. But even if you do use Google Apps, Gbox is probably the best workaround to date. And once it's downloaded on your phone, it allows you to download and sign into all of the major Google apps, Play Store, YouTube, Gmail, Google Maps, etc. And it works surprisingly well. But it is still technically a workaround. I couldn't, with all integrity, say this way of using Google Apps is as seamless as using a Samsung, Xiaomi, OnePlus, Honor, etc. But if you like customization and you're happy with 95% of the performance of those Google apps that you'd find on another Android phone, you absolutely get that with this. And a similar theme with 5G. I currently live in an area that doesn't have 5G yet still. 4G works fine, got Wi-Fi. It's all I really need. Would I want 5G? Possibly, probably. Would I want to future-proof that fact? Yes. Is it a make or break? Probably not. Would I like a touch more power in the 8 Gen 2? Again, for me, I've got all of these tech products and I can thankfully choose between. I would choose the 8 Gen 2 if I could, but could I use this as my daily driver? Absolutely. And I just think it comes down to compromises. Every phone has them. It's just a case of where they are and how much they're important to you. Are the compromises that I've suggested worth missing out on possibly the best, or at least one of the best smartphone cameras available? Only you can decide that. Like I said, if you do want to pick up the Huawei P60 Pro, I will leave a link in the video description below for £150 off, so definitely worth going to check that out. Thanks to Huawei for that. But like I said, no pressure. I'm not here to sell anything to you. I'm just here to hopefully help you on your purchasing decisions. And follow me on my other social medias, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, all ASB official, for more tech content. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new and want to see more content like this. As always, my name's Adam. You've been the best as always. I love you and leave you. I'll see you in the next one. ASBYT, peace out.